Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony. Today I am at the Oregon Trail Interpretive Museum. We have been traveling the Oregon Trail for several days now and seeing bits and pieces of the Oregon Trail. Today it will all come together and it will all make sense, and we'll learn about the struggles on the Oregon Trail. And hey, we'll get started right after this station identification. Well, we have traveled the Oregon Trail all week, and this is at the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center near Baker City, Oregon. We'll get a close-up look of what it must have been like on the Oregon Trail. See this little barefooted girl with a little dirty dress. Yeah, you couldn't stay clean out on the trail. And the oxes were the only thing that would really last on the trail. Horses, they would starve to death or just didn't have the stamina to pull those heavy wagons. The trail was 2,000 miles long. This diorama, life-size diorama, is very accurate. Even the poop from the animals. Having to repair the wheels on the little carts and wagons. The Walla Walla Nez Perce people who have lived centuries in a land that they've never seen before. Superstition and fear gradually fade as the Indians offer guidance for the lost, horses for the hobbling, and food for the hungry. We'll walk on the Oregon Trail, all these footprints, wagon ruts. After months of travel, you learn the odds. Nearly 1 out of every 10 dead, a grave every 80 yards. But numbers can't describe a child's death under the wagon wheels, a mother's sudden end from disease, or a friend's fatal gunshot accident. With fewer hands to help and less love to sustain you, the trail grows even longer day by day. You get up at 4 a.m., you help fetch water, cook, clean, pack, then you walk another 10 or 20 miles, pick flowers, take a swim, have a mock battle with buffalo chips, school books, baths are scarce, go to sleep, do it all over again 180 times. That was the life of a typical child on the Oregon Trail. Anything can happen on the trail, and often does. Buffalo stampedes, prairie fires, rattlesnakes, treacherous river currents, anxious meetings with Indian, cholera, a fall from a horse, and overturned wagons. Lucky and rare is a party which passes unscathed over the Oregon route. Veterans of the train predicted that your company would quarrel the whole way to Oregon without the hard-won experience of hired guides and the leader. The wagon train would have unraveled by now, under stress from strange surroundings, sudden calamities, and fierce disagreements. You need cool, knowledgeable heads to lead the way. No restaurants, no mechanics, no vending machines. Milk and meat come on the hoof, but livestock dwindle daily. Hunting, fishing, and gathering provide food for a shrinking larder. Aside from occasional fort asking outrageous prices or friendly Indian, self-sufficiency is the way of the trail. When you get ready to go on the Oregon Trail, it was suggested that you take 100 pounds of bacon per person, 26 pounds of cheese per person, 5 pounds of tartaric acid, 20 pounds of rosin, 20 pounds of black lead, 5 pounds of pepper, 5 pounds of soda. Yes, one person on the trail will need all these supplies and much more. Preparing for this journey takes careful planning, shopping, and packing. Aside from food, think about other supplies you need, such as clothing, candles, and matches. It will fit, and that's often the problem. What is necessary, what is critical to sustain life. Too many unnecessary things, including books, will end up cast by the roadside. After all, you can't eat Pilgrim's Progress. A lot of folks, after they've been on the journey for just a few days, stuff like this furniture, trunks, all this extra unnecessary stuff to keep you alive will be thrown by the wayside.
We have purchased oxen at $25 per yoke. We'll plunge in the mud and swim over stream. Westward as in the future.
It's my little buddy here. We met on the Oregon Trail. I think none of us have realized until now the perils of this undertaking. Margaret A. Fink, 1850. We are in Oregon now. Oh, if we were only all the way, how glad I would be. Helen Marie Stewart, 1853.
That I had time and talent to describe this curious country. Elizabeth Dixon Smith, 1847. I think none of us have realized until now the perils of this undertaking. Margaret A. Frank, 1850. There is some of the largest rattlesnakes in this region I've ever saw, being 8 to 12 feet long and about as large as a man's leg, about the knee. There is no fiction at all. Amelia Hadley, July 19, 1851. Arrived at Fort Hall, a desolate place and filled with thieves. We saw one man, immigrant, that had lost 9 horse. Lucia Lorraine Williams, July 9, 1851.
The Great Father has left me nothing but an island. Red Cloud, 1870. Beside the Oregon Trail, you see beds, trunks, stoves. Was necessities that they thought they'd need in the promised land, but it couldn't keep them alive on the prairie. We have good roads comparatively. We mean good roads if the sloughs are not over belly deep and the hills not straight up and down and not rock enough to turn the wagon over. Henry Alwyn, August 11th, 1852. Started at 4:30 after being up with the team nearly all night. Came on a good camp at Spring. On our way here at Powder River, we killed a noble salmon, taking breakfast out of him, and a fine dish it was. David Maynard, September 1st, 1850. At one of the encampments to Oregon City, which was the end of the trail, almost at Portland, 329 miles in 29 days. They come from Independence, Missouri, 1,595 miles. That was 112 days ago.
I froze or chilled my feet so that I cannot wear a shoe. So I have to go around in the cold water in my bare feet. And there was not one dry thread on one of us, not even on the babe.
5 long months and 13 days from Independence, Missouri. We have reached our destination, Oregon City.
Yeah, there's all kind of critters out here. Maybe a badger. I don't want to stick my hand down there and find out. But yes, this is the original Oregon Trail. These shrubs pretty much would have been the same type of shrubs that they came through back in the day. Right up ahead of me there is a marker. Ever so often on the Oregon Trail, there's a marker that's been put up. And yes, someone will probably ask, why am I walking on the historical Oregon Trail? Well, it's permissible. They just ask that you don't destroy anything. And I imagine walking on it helps denote it and keep it, you know, so we'll recognize it as the Oregon Trail. I'll get close to this sign. Imagine the thousands of people that walk beside their wagons through all this shrubbery. Yes, here's our next sign. Well, Debbie, we have come to the trail's end.
Thank goodness.
We have...
Tired.
Yeah, we have traveled the Oregon Trail. We got on in Idaho at the bottom of the state, or the east side of Idaho, and traveled all the way across Idaho following the Snake River. We are now in Oregon at Baker, and for the Oregon Trail, that's the end for us. I have to admit, unless I saw a sign that said I'm standing on the Oregon Trail, I would never have guessed.
No, me either.
But yet it's there behind us and in front of us. Of the 2,170 miles of the Oregon Trail, only about 300 miles of the original trail remains. We have learned a lot about the pioneers that crossed the prairie on the way to Oregon. Really interested. I have to say, those were some tough people back then. Unfortunately, a lot of them didn't make it. A lot of them died beside the family. They left wives, husband, and children buried right beside the trail. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give us a big old thumbs up. Be sure to share with your family and friends. But until next time,
Y'all have a good day.